Hey guys, Bonzi Chun here, and today we're going to talk about Sun and Moon Strength Expansion Pack. So, these are the translations for Japan's Sun and Moon Strength Expansion Pack, which is kind of like their Sun and Moon 1.5. Many of these cards were reprints. There's actually only 17 new cards in this set for Japan, and these 17 cards will most likely be part of our Guardians Rising expansion that we'll be getting in May. So let's just quickly go over the reprints. You got the Rowlet line, which is all reprints from our Sun and Moon 1. You got the LoneAzn stuff, the Incineroar stuff, all this stuff. This is all reprints. I'm just going to keep scrolling through here, guys. We've all seen this stuff. We know what this stuff does. You guys will see some new stuff, but I'm going to go to the end where I'm able to talk about it all at one time. Reprints, more and more reprints. Oh, the new card. Some reprints. Here we go. New stuff. Here we go. So, first card we're going to talk about right now is Choice Band. This card will remind you guys of an older card called Muscle Band very, very quickly. It's a Pokemon tool. Does 30 more damage to your opponent's active EX or GX. This is a card you guys are definitely going to want to pick up because it's going to help with the transitions from EXs to GXs because it lets you do 30 more damage to them. Overall, this card is going to be amazing. Definitely going to be a 2 or 3 of in most decks until people figure out if GXs are going to be run in every deck or if we're going to go back to a slightly different format, maybe something more slower with more evolutions with no GXs. But definitely a card you guys are going to want to get early on. It's going to be in play for a while, and EXs aren't going anywhere for a while, so this card's going to be very good. Next thing we have is Altar of the Moon. So both yours and your opponent's active Pokemon have 2 less retreat costs if they're Psychic or Dark. So this is going to help Psychic and Dark decks that like to retreat in and out a lot. Overall, I think this card's going to be worth picking up just to keep in your binder. I think it might be good one day. I say might strongly because I have no really ideas. And standing out as an amazing card I see, but I think overall this is a decent card. Definitely worth keeping in your binder for a while to see what the format becomes. Next we have Altar of the Sun. Now this card I think is definitely worth picking up early because it's gonna be good. I'm calling it now. It says each of you players' fire and metal Pokemon have no weakness. So for decks like Volcanion and Scizor, this is gonna help them out a lot. It's gonna help Volcanions in the Greninja matchup against Greninja Break. It's gonna help Scizor in the Volcanion matchup. Also, especially in Volcania, I don't see this card being played now. I might see it played later after rotation and standard, because after next rotation we're probably gonna be losing Skyfield, so Volcanions aren't gonna have that extra bench space. So this might be a good replacement, or conjunction with Scorched Earth. Also, most Scizor decks don't run anything that's specific to them. I've seen some people run Parallel City. I've seen some people run. Gosh, what was the other card I saw them run? I've seen a lot of different stadiums in Scizor that I don't necessarily agree with, but I think this might be good for Scizor if Mega Gardevoir continues to be as popular as it is. Got a new print of Decidueye, new print of Incineroar. These are the same cards that we got in Sun and Moon, but these are new artworks, I should say. Primarina. Alright, so Vikavolt GX. This is a new card that I kind of like. It's a stage 2. 240 HP, fighting weakness, metal resistance, and a retreat cost of 1, so very good stats overall. Charge Beam for a single lightning energy does 50 damage. And you attach 1 energy card, not basic, energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon, so you could attach things like DCE. That's what the only other special energy you'd be running at this point with lightning decks. And then Super Zetcan for a lightning and 3 colorless does 180 damage. And you discard 2 energy to this Pokemon. I like this card because let's say you get 4 energy on, like you get 2 lightning and a double colors on the Vikavolt. You Super Zetcan, discard the DCE. Next turn you Charge Beam, attach DCE. So 2 turns, over the course of 2 turns, you're doing 230 damage, which is enough to knock out most things. Add a Choice Band on here, makes up to 260. That's enough to kill a Wailord. Alright, so Vikavolt, I can definitely see a deck being made around this and being somewhat competitive. Depending upon what other cards we get, it could make this deck a tier 2, possibly a tier 1 deck. Gigatron GX is a GX move for a lightning and 3 colorless. does 60 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Don't apply weakness or resistance. As a GX attack, I think this is good because it lets you hit your opponent's whole back row for 60 damage, which is a lot. So, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, that's 5 times 6, that's 300 damage, but spread across your opponent's back row. And it could definitely take some cheesy knockouts if your opponent has something like a stage, like a basic on the bench, like a Froakie, or any basic that evolves into a stage 2 can definitely get knocked out by this. Also lets you, spread damage around, so that way when your opponent has to bring out their new active, it makes it easier for them to knock out with things like Charge Beam or Super Zap Cannon. Next card is one card I'm really excited for because I want to make a deck with this card. I'm calling it right now. This is going to be a tier 1 deck. It's a stage 1, 210 HP, Psychic Weakness, no resistance, but has a retreat cost of 3. It is Toxapex GX. Now, I did talk about this card on Pokemon News segment a couple weeks ago, but still, I think this card is going to be amazing. I want to talk about it more. For a single Psychic Energy, Spike Cannon does 30 damage times the amount of heads you flip on 4 coins. 50% of the time, you are going to be doing 60 damage. And some of the time, you're going to be doing 0, sometimes you're going to be doing 90, and sometimes you're going to be doing 120. For a single Psychic Energy, for an average of 60 damage, I think is worth the risk of sometimes whiffing. But it's a single energy attachment attack. Overall, I think it's great. Not great, it's alright. Sorry, guys. For 3 Psychic Energy, though, you have Ultra Toxic Poison. It poisons your opponent's active Pokemon, but instead of doing 1 damage counter between turns, you do 10. Now, this is great because as a switch from you poison them, switch from your turn to their turn, 10 damage counters. They do their turn. If they can't remove the poison, when it goes back to your turn, another 100 damage. Now, that's enough to knock out most things. When I say most things, I mean like probably 90, 95%. Definitely enough to knock out almost every EX. Definitely almost enough to knock out most GX Megas. But even with the Mega, you Ultra Toxic Poison, Spike Cannon, flip 1 heads, it's knocked out when it switches to their turn. So overall, I think this move is great. I think it makes Toxapex an amazing card. Toxic Shelter DX is 150 damage. It prevents all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. Now, it doesn't say from your opponent's active, it says during your opponent's next turn. So Toxapex GX is taking no damage or no effects from your opponent on their turn. So this lets you set up for a knockout, or you use Toxic Shelter GX to knock out their active. And let's say they bring out fully loaded Pokemon into their active. They can't knock out your Toxapex GX. Gives you a free Ultra Toxic Poison on them, and it's probably gonna knock out their next active. So that's 2 prizes you've taken right there, or 4 of their GX or EX or combination. Overall, Toxic Shelter GX, great attack. Toxapex GX overall, I think it's going to be an amazing card. I will definitely be making a deck with this as soon as it's released in US. Sylveon GX. 200 HP, Stage 1, Metal Weakness, Resistance to Dark, and Retreat cost of 2. Now, it evolves from an Eevee, which is important because in Sun and Moon, we got the Energy Eevee, which says when you attach energy to this Pokemon, you can evolve it into Stage 1 of basically, if you attach a Fairy Energy, you can evolve right into Sylveon. If you attach a Dark Energy, you can evolve right into Umbreon. Fire Energy right into Flareon, etc. So, for a single Fairy Energy, which is important because if you attach the Fairy Energy to Eevee, it can evolve right into Sylveon and be ready to go. Magical Raven, search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Kind of similar to Talonflame that we got in Steam Siege, except it doesn't do any damage and it lets you get 1 more card. One of those cards on your first Magical Raven will definitely be a DCE because of the second attack, which only needs a Fairy Energy and double colorless. Fairy Wind does 110 damage. Pretty good for 3 energy. That's like Mega Gardevoir to Despair Ray level, but for 1 more energy. But then again, Sylveon's a Stage 1 I mean, so they're not really comparable. Overall, I think Mega Gardevoir's Despair Ray is better. But it's not a Mega, so you don't have to attach the Spirit Link and then evolve. But kind of weird to think of it that way. But 110 damage, 3 energy is not horrible. And then with GX move, which I am not even going to attempt to pronounce because I always get this wrong. Even in other recordings of the same video, I got this extremely wrong. Okay, I'll do it, guys. I'll do it. I hope that's French. I really do, because I cannot say this word for the life of me. So basically, whatever this word is, right here, this word right here, GX, pick 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Your opponent returns those Pokemon, all cards attached them to his or her hand. So let's say your opponent's got 2 Pokemon on the bench, fully locked and loaded. Let's say it's, I don't know, what's a good deck that this could work well against? Let's say they got 2 Baby Volcanoes and bench Energy and Fighting Fury belts. You can turn those to their hand and make them replay them. Not the greatest example, but with as many evolution lines as that are getting printed, it makes everyone think that we're moving to a slower format with more evolutions, less EXs and GXs and basics. So you can make them return their whole set up Pokemon to their hand. Let's say it's stage 2. Have to make them re-evolve, reattach energies, and make them set up longer while you're still hitting them for 110 with Fairy Wind. Sylveon, I think, is going to be a good card. We'll have to wait and see what else we get for it. But I think that overall this card's going to be an amazing card. Drampa GX. Now, this card I was not a fan of when I first saw it. But the more I've read it, the more I thought about it, the more I became a fan of it. Now, it's a basic Pokemon, which is important. It does 180 HP, fighting weakness, retreat cost of 2. Now, the reason why it's a basic is important because it allows for things like use things like Nest Ball, Max Elixir, Fighting Fury Belt. There's a lot of things that power up basics in Drampa of basic GX. Now, for single colorless, does 20 damage and you can discard special energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Lets you discard things like DCE, Splash Energy, Strong Energy. You get the idea. And then for 3 energy, colorless energy, does 80 damage plus 70 if any of your bench Pokemon have damage on them. Now, most times something on your bench will have damage on it. There's other things you can do to make damage get onto your bench, like Team Magma's Secret Base. But 150 damage for 3 colorless energies, really nice, especially on this card because things like DCE still work. Things like Max Elixir. There's other cards in the format like Volcanion that let you attach fire energy from your discard. Yveltal, same thing for Darks. So I don't think you'll have a problem getting 3 energy on this card. So I think this card will be good. Probably some kind of deck being made around it. And then its GX attack is Great Revolution! So you shuffle your hand to your deck and draw 10 cards. I think this GX attack is just horrible. I mean, it's just bad. And here's why. Even though you get to draw 10 cards, it's your attack. So it switches back to your opponent. All they gotta do is play an N and you basically just wasted your GX attack. It might be really good late game when you know your opponent has no ends, no judges, nothing that makes you shuffle your hand. But with VS Seeker being here, there's always a possibility. I don't think this GX attack is good. I don't think you'll be playing this card for the GX attack unless you're really desperate. But Berserk, I think, is what really makes this card good. Does 150 damage for 3 energy, which I think is great. Moving on, we got some new hyper rare artworks for the Decidueye, Incineroar, Primarina. Vigavolt got a hyper rare. I think that card looks pretty nice actually. I want this Toxapex, I really do. It's very pretty, I like it. Sylveon looks the same. Just kidding, guys, but no, that Sylveon artwork's very nice though. Drampa looks even more derpy. How are you gonna make Drampa look even more derpy than it actually already looks? I mean, look, it looks like a character straight out of like a Willy Wonka movie, or what's Reading Rainbow? What's that dragon cartoon you watched the kid that taught you how to read? It kind of looks like something like that. And then we have, of course, the Secret Rares, Rare Candy, and DCE, as well as Grass Energy. So that's been Sun and Moon Strength and Expansion Pack, guys. These are the translations. I hope we get more of these announcements soon, so that way I can talk about more of the new cards that we'll be getting in the US. Until next time, guys, peace.